It's not every day that you're graced with the presence of someone who is the definition of personified sunshine. However, I, Tracy Jung, get that privilege every week during A-Day A-Laps in Tatler. Who, you may ask, is this sunshine? Wallis Rogin. She goes by many names. Paddle, the BC Calc extraordinaire. Miss AP Physics genius, who is not afraid to ask questions when the rest of the class hesitates. The super tennis player, who never fails to show up to every tennis practice, even when it's canceled, which is 90% of the time. Or the boldest soccer defender and renowned creator of the soccer playlist. Or most famously, the editor-in-chief of Tatler, mastermind of yearly prints. Shameless plug, check out our website. Now, you may know her as the person who genuinely brights every path with smiles and positivity every step she takes down the hallways, or as the smartest and most talented person ever who can answer and ask questions at every opportunity she gets. But I know her as probably the most time-managed, creative, hardworking, and fantabulous classmate who is like the sunrise and sunset, someone you can see that is filled with the thousands of beautiful colors of the sky. Now, I know you're excited to see Sunshine herself, as her words of wisdom will shine on you like the warm afternoon sun. So now, I present to you the one, the only, with beauty and with grace, Wallis Elizabeth Rogin.
The interaction always goes something like this. I'm checking out at a store, and the employee inevitably asks, as they do to each of their customers, "What's a good email for you?" This is typically motivated by a wish to give a receipt or an attempt to entice me to sign up for the rewards program. Whatever the motivation, I always hesitate. An awkward second goes by as I fill it with an exaggerated, giving them the false impression that I don't know my email. The problem isn't that I forgot my email. I definitely know my email, but it's saying it out loud that gives me pause. My immediate follow-up question is consistently, "Can I give you my phone number instead?" If that doesn't work, I'm forced to recite those 20 characters that cause me immense embarrassment. My email is actually not the most embarrassing thing ever, but I hate it. I hate that it's unprofessional, and I absolutely hate telling people what it is. After too much hesitation, I then proceed by spelling out each letter and number of my personal email very quickly to get the moment over with. It goes like this. My email is walli7pw1@gmail.com. In case you missed it, it's walli7pw1@gmail.com. It's sad that I hate it now, because when I created it on August 20th, 2016, as a 10-year-old, I thought it was so creative. I remember the conversation vividly. I was sitting with my dad in front of our desktop computer when the time came to choose the embarrassingly innocent email address that haunts me presently. My pre-adolescent instinct was to reasonably generate wallisrogin@gmail.com, but it was my dad who encouraged me to have a little fun with it. He asked me to craft an email based on my current interests, and walli7pw1@gmail.com was born. To explain the origin of this email is to give insight into who I was at 10 years old. I used Wally, spelled I-E, because it's a nickname that friends and family have called me since the beginning. I used the number 7 because it's my favorite, and I was born in July. P because purple was my favorite color. W because my name kind of sounds like walrus. And 1 because I'm the firstborn in the family. Many parts of this email remain true to who I am today. People I love still call me Wally, my birthday hasn't changed, I'm still an older sister, and Wallis and walrus are deceivingly similar. But my attitude towards this collection of letters and numbers has changed. I'm embarrassed by this address, but it has documented my life for the past 8 years. It carries my interests, conversations, and memories, so I went back to remember why I created the email in the first place. I scrolled all the way to that fateful August afternoon when I sent my first ever email from Walli7pw1. The subject, test number 1. The recipient, my dad, aka a sensible Alex Rogin @gmail.com. The email reads, quote, "Hi, how's your day been, Daddy?" no punctuation, no capitalization, and I'm surprised I knew how to add a subject. This correspondence continued while we talked about our days and eventually the movie Pete's Dragon, as I discovered how to bold and italicize words and even add emojis for decoration. I had forgotten why I created this email all those years ago, to feel grown up. And now it's ironic to think about how it makes me feel the opposite, childish and immature. But I didn't have a phone or any other way to talk to the ones I love, only Wallis 7PW1. When I was 10, my inbox was filled with nostalgic photos of my dad and me. At 11, I sent notes to my grandparents every day. The next year, I have a few emails celebrating my successful escape room attempts, and then even some tickets to a middle school SAA dance. Following that, sprinkled amongst the Free People receipts, there are a few dreaded driver's ed reminders and even Harry Styles concert tickets. Flash forward to today, amongst other subjects, I feel like there are still an absurd number of college emails that I can't seem to unsubscribe to no matter how many times I try. Even so, there are countless receipts and evidence and reminders of my life up until this point living in Wallis7pw1@gmail.com. 8 years ago, I created my email knowing that I would have to change it, knowing that someday I would grow out of it and grow up. But this email is just one of my many pseudonyms. I also go by .net. Although my first initial and last name together doesn't sound as cool as Mayangar, Kerbiro, or Chill, I love that every single one of the SMS girls in this room is connected by a common @stmarysmemphis.net. Through my school address, I've sent over 3,000 emails, received more than double that amount, and can easily communicate with anyone above 5th grade. I truthfully enjoy that because any of y'all are easily subject to a Tatler interview at any time, but that's not the best part. What makes our emails special is the connection to a network of current St. Mary's girls waiting to reply. It doesn't matter what the letters are ahead of the @ sign because we have the subsequent 25 characters that attach us together. But these emails aren't permanent. Once each of us graduates, our St. Mary's emails will be unreachable, returned to sender, never to be heard from again. We'll trade our .nets for .edus, and we won't be connected in that way anymore. New email addresses come with new physical addresses as we unsubscribe from our current lives and mail off to important places where we will draft new memories with even newer recipients. So, a few weeks ago, I did the inevitable and composed 2 new email addresses. I will no longer be, but instead I'll go by .edu. And finally, after almost a decade of memories, Wallis7pw1@gmail.com will be put to bed as becomes my new name. But for this very moment, there's nothing in those inboxes. Thank you.